Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism or to our congregation, we want to get to know you and share a part of your journey. If this place is already your spiritual home, welcome once more. We need one another, and it is good to be together again. Through the gifts of technology, we also gather virtually to celebrate community and connections as we lean into the values of justice, compassion, and reason. Welcome to all those who are joining us in this way today. Together, we learn the love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service this morning. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love.
Arise, O souls, oh, arise.
Good morning. I'm Sean, and I grew up here at All Souls and am a part of the coming of age this morning. Along with my close friends Charlotte, Sierra, Khalil, Ruby, Ginny, and Rose, we have planned this service, and later we will each share our credos, or I believe statements. Welcome to our church. Our ushers have gift bags for you to share with first-time visitors. If you are new here, please stand or raise your hand so that our ushers can bring you one. All right. You are welcome here, with all of the identities you hold and in your fullness as a person. We hope that you will bring your whole self to this time together. This candle of memory is lit this morning in honor of the life of Mary Lindsay. As our service concludes, the children will have a pumpkin parade to show you their decorated pumpkins. After the service, please view the pumpkins up close. Check out the religious education bake sale and listen to the children's drum circle. Also, after the service, the Reverend Kendall Gibbons will present an enrichment class on spiritual maturity in the meeting room. Our opening words this morning are from the very first verse of the hymn, We Laugh, We Cry, by Shelley Jackson Denham. We laugh, we cry, we live and we die. We dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something here to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need good friends we can call our very own. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own.
Not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own.
Not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth.
Not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs.
not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought.
Not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment.
In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul, to excite and cherish spiritual life.
Please stand in body or spirit and join in the affirmation of our covenant. Then remain standing as we join together in song. Together we affirm,
Goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Part of the coming of age program we have completed includes spending time with adult members of the church, our mentors. Each of us has gotten to know our mentors over the last year, and we have shared with them and learned from them. Would our mentors come forward as I call out your names? Don Dickey, Khalil's mentor. Richard Thompson, Sean's mentor. Amy Robertson, Charlotte's mentor. Julia Schaefermeyer, Rose's mentor. Jonda Boyce, Sierra's mentor. Beth Andes, my mentor who could not be here today. Joyce Jonasson, Ruby's mentor. Thank you for being there for us as we have been delving into the most important questions of life. Thank you for your companionship, for your guidance, and for your friendship. Let me also call forward our coming-of-age teachers, Cynthia Butcher and Joe Robertson. You have shared of yourselves and asked us important questions. We have learned from you and have been shaped by your care and presence. We thank you. You may be seated. Let us now sing our children to their classes. Grades 5 through 8 will stay for the service.
Over the years, we have learned and been shaped by our religious education classes here at All Souls. The RE program brought us to this moment here with all of you, and it will continue to support us as we complete high school. We have learned values that will guide us throughout our lives, how to be good to one another, and what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. Our religious education program needs your support to be fully funded each year. This morning's offerings will go to the religious education program. We thank you for your generosity.
Go to Boston so that we can connect to our Unitarian and Universalist history. It is wonderful for the youth to be able to really connect to their faith outside of All Souls, to see that this is bigger than just what we're doing here, and that it has a long, fulfilling, wondrous history. For some of our youth that are doing this trip, it is the first time that they have traveled without their parents. They had to manage the TSA, getting on a flight some of them had never flown before, and then taking the shuttle bus from the airport to the subway station. 2 different subways that we needed to navigate.
It was very much like a big step of independence for me.
Right before it, I was kind of dreading it, not gonna lie. I was really worried.
And the looks on their faces when we first came out of the subway, all these large buildings around them, the air smelled different, and they could just feel that whole palpable difference.
Can we just take like a second and just breathe? Like just take a couple of cleansing breaths to just be here. There we go. We light our chalice for having come together and traveled far. May we open ourselves to what there is to discover in our time here.
so much to Boston to pack in because, I mean, we're in Boston to understand more about our religion. Not only about the religion, about Unitarian Universalism, but more about ourselves.
Being at Boston made me feel really free and not have to worry about all those little things and just really enjoy life and like enjoy time with friends.
I feel like we were all mentally like there, like we didn't want to be somewhere else. Like we really wanted to be there.
I think the ocean is really beautiful, and I learned that I definitely want to be a marine biologist. That's one of the main things that I learned. Like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
That was really cool to like be out in the middle of the water and you can't see land anywhere, and then obviously the whales. And that's just really neat because you don't get to see that, especially living here.
Against the surface of the water, they're able to send signals to each other that may be drowned out, or dorsal fin popping out of the water, the tail of just... The calf just tail breached at R2. Tail breaching at R2, it's now on its side, rolling around. That's its little flipper or pectoral fin.
When we were all like watching the water and talking to each other, we were all just starting to feel really safe. I remember it was a fun conversation, and I took a picture of all of them and I still have it, and I look at it and it makes me happy. I think, yeah, that was the first moment that we came together.
This group really lived into it. It was just a stunning experience for all of them.
It made me realize how much Unitarian Universalism means to me, like going to the churches, and I don't know, in Kansas City there aren't very many Unitarian Universalists, but in Boston it's flooded with them, and that was pretty cool.
Boston forced me to reinforce the values that I once held and to understand what I value, to what I find important.
But I learned a lot more of like where we came from. It was interesting to see other communities and how they work, and that we're all a little bit different, and I like that a lot.
The architecture was amazing. It's made me want to pursue architecture more. In every building, it felt like it was just getting better and better. It was just like stunning, like it was perfect.
There were some days like we were really, really tired or we were late for something, but it didn't matter because we were still having fun together and we still got to experience just all the fun things.
150 individuals board those 3 ships and dump 92,000 pounds of tea into the sea.
I really enjoyed the Arlington Street Church. That one was really fun.
Yeah, Arlington I really liked.
The Arlington Street Church. Yeah. And Mark David was really cool.
Oh my god, Mark David, you're like the coolest guy ever.
This giant old building, and we have pictures of Jesus everywhere, and we're like, okay, that's important. And we have ordained ministers stand up and we say what they have to say is important. And we have these books with, you know, teachings from songs from around the world as traditions. Those are all important. What age are you on right now?
16.
15, 16, 17. We say, you can get up in front of all of us at 15, 16, 17, and what you know to be true, what you have to say things just as important as any of those things. We need your truths as much as we need blessed are the meek.
If I reach out to you, will you reach out to me with all of our...
Sometimes this experience of reflection time was deep and meaningful, and they were sharing things about their lives and their hopes and their relationship to Unitarian Universalism that were profound. And sometimes they couldn't stop laughing because they were so enjoying being near each other that even looking at each other caused them to burst into giggles.
I think by the end we all just started to say our thoughts out loud, which was really funny, and no one judged anyone else for that.
It kind of felt like therapy. We all were really open with each other.
Everyone respected each other, but then also we could joke around and have a good time. Everyone was always laughing together.
I learned Ruby wants to be a photographer. I learned that Charlotte and Jenny really like Taylor Swift, and that they both really like the story of Little Woman.
This friend group, basically. What am I saying? They're the friend group in my life.
Another really memorable thing for this group was the beach. They really did their most bonding at the beach. That's when they really solidified the laughing together and caring for one another.
Yeah, the beach was incredible. That was really fun. Because we all buried each other in sand, and we spent hours just laughing and playing in the water.
Kind of taught me how important having a bunch of great friends is.
I think it taught me to be a little bit more of an open person to new things and new experiences, and also to just be in the moment as much as you can in life, because I won't get a moment exactly like that again. Now I would believe in more of the beauty in the world, because you got to see the beauty of the relationships that were built, the different conversations that were going on, and you could see the beauty of people and the beauty of life.
Boston was a life-changing trip, and I'll never forget it. I will never forget it.
I think about it every day, how special it was.
It is entirely worth it. All the early mornings and Sundays, and totally worth it.
It was kind of just all around an amazing trip.
I'm glad that I went, because I had a lot of fun, and it was really reassuring to me that I can do hard things.
It was so great. Yeah.
Please join us in reading the dedication of our offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society.
Our reading is a poem, I Am From, inspired by Where I'm From, by George L. Lyon, and written by our coming-of-age class about our time in Boston. I'm from bunk beds, from bells, an ode to joy.
I am from chowder in salt air.
I am from the smell of rain and the taste of pho.
I am from the tub of butter, not butter, who betrayed me.
I am from worship and reflection from Judith and Erin.
I am from inappropriate laughter and covenants from It's Fresh and pub crawls and Mike's Pastries.
I am from Vlad and Mark David, from Floating Keys, the Orchard House, and the beach.
Taught me that our friendship is strong and our memories will live long.
I said, remember this moment in the back of my mind. The time we stood with our shaking hands and the crowds in the stands went wild. We were the kings and the queens, and they read off our names. The night you danced like you knew our lives would never be the same. You held your head like a hero on a history book page. It's the end of a decade, but the start of an age. Long live the walls we crashed through, how the kingdom light shined just for me and you. I was screaming, long live all the magic we made, and bring on all the pretenders. One day we will be remembered. I said, remember this feeling. I passed the pictures around of the years that we stood there on the sidelines wishing for right now. We are the kings and the queens. You traded your baseball cap for a crown. When they gave us our trophies and we held them up for our town, and the cynics were outraged, screaming this is absurd. 'Cause the moment a band of thieves in ripped up jeans got to rule the world, hold on to spinning around confetti falls to the ground. May these memories break our fall. Will you take a moment and promise me this? You'll stand by me forever, but if God forbid fate should step in and forces us into goodbye, if you have children someday, when they point to the pictures, please tell them my name. Tell them how the crowds went wild. Tell them how I hope they shine. Long live the walls we crashed through. I had the time of my life with you. Long live the walls we crashed through, how the the kingdom light shine just for me and you. I was screaming, long live all the magic we made, and bring on all the pretenders. I'm not afraid, singing, long live all the mountains we moved. I had the time of my life, fighting dragons with you. And long, long live that look on your face, and bring on all the pretenders. One day we will be remembered.
I want to make sure you all know they planned this whole service. These 7 amazing teenagers have done the work this year to reach this point of coming of age. They have attended class sessions where they have spent time with 3 central questions. To whom or what do I belong? Who am I becoming? And what is beyond me? They fundraised to travel to Boston, where they learned about our Unitarian heritage and touched the much larger world of Unitarian Universalism beyond All Souls. They spent time with their mentors, and they have done something that many of you would be afraid to do. Wrote down their beliefs, values, and what is most important to them, and are about to share them with you. Will all of you come forward? Khalil, Sean, Charlotte, Rose, Sierra, Ginny, and Ruby. We celebrate with you the deep work you have done to know yourself, your values, and your connection to the wider world. And in this moment, we ask, will you live out your Unitarian Universalist values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, equity, and love?
We will.
Will you claim All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church as your religious home, to gather with one another, to deepen relationships with adults, to be involved, and to continue to learn and grow?
We will.
Will the congregation please stand? You have been part of the growth of these young people into their teenage years. Will you recognize their presence among you, invite them into meaningful conversation, and recognize that they are leaders and fully a part of our church?
We will.
You may be seated. Youth, as you present your credos, you will have come of age as Unitarian Universalists at All Souls. Congratulations. Each of you is amazing, and we look forward to all that you bring to our church.
Hello, my name is Khalil Hassan. I've been going to this loving and welcoming church ever since I was born, as my mom claims. I may not remember the first few years, but I remember the most recent few years, and that's what's important. Before the coming of age program, I never seriously thought about my beliefs, because they were never forced upon me. But after all the coming of age classes in Boston, it made me really sit down and it made me sit down and seriously think about my beliefs and feelings about UU. Boston made me truly realize how important UUism is to me and how much it truly has done for me as a person. After the coming of age Boston trip and talking with my mentor, I realized that what UU means to me is having as good of a relationship with everyone around you as you can, and making great small communities and friendships by doing so. Here are my belief statements. I believe in bettering myself, and in doing so, I can help others around me. I believe that I can make a difference. I believe that I can help others by sharing my thoughts and feelings. I believe all lives matter. I believe in love of one another. I believe that I can leave the world a better place than I found it. I believe in equal rights. I believe everybody is important. I believe everyone needs to believe they matter. I believe in strong friendships. I believe that I can leave the world a better place than I found it. Thank you for listening to my beliefs.
I am Sean Lichten, and these are a few of my basic rules of life. Rule number 1, my biggest philosophy of life is that the most simplistic options usually are the best options. This rule is universal. In soccer, take the simple pass to another player. In school, reading a sentence carefully can easily give away the correct answer. In conversation, the most straightforward and most honest answer is possible. Rule number 2. The most recent Boston trip that the church's COA group went on had an interesting effect on me after getting home. While I do not believe it taught me anything new, I do believe it made me relearn my philosophy I had been following before and take it serious this time. Rule number 3. Patience. Patience is the true key to life. Through patience, I was able to realize something very important to me. Rule number 4. Whenever I went with the flow, allowing myself to be open-minded and let opportunities come to me, I realized the random situations I would find myself in and issues I would be having, it all meant something. When I would be patient, I would find myself thinking back on reevaluating my philosophy from before. And I would remember that, rule number 5, there's no such thing as pure evil or pure good. There is always a presence of both good and bad, for that is called balance. Because of this balance, there is something worth mentioning, something worth looking deeper towards in a situation. You may or may not have heard of the story of a horror tour around Boston not exactly being a horror tour. Rule number 6, just get to the point in a conversation. To sum up the story of Vlad, we didn't get scared, but rather laughed at the consistent contradictions and information he was giving. And this was a gimmick for his acting career. I forgot which character he's playing, but apparently he's playing a character in the new X-Men. Interesting. Rule number 7. While this was my perspective, everyone else had their own perspectives, on the situation, all being positive. This leads me to my next bit of philosophy that is very important to me. It's the fact that people can think whatever they want, how much is really going to hurt you. Rule number 8. I have a belief that life is short, and when you are stuck thinking about the past or the future, you are missing out on the most important part of life, the present. I feel it's better to have a more open-minded and patient mindset or perspective on life. I believe it will allow you to get the most out of life. Rule number 9. So, when I am in discussion with a person, and they mention a perspective that is different than mine, there's little to no point to worry or care. I don't see any injuries on me, and my heart is still beating at the same pace it was a few seconds ago. I see no need to worry. Rule number 10. There is one issue with all of this very carefree philosophy. It's that most of us are stuck in situations where we are forced to worry, where worrying is a part of the circumstance, and that is okay. Rule number 11. The solution to rule number 10 is rule number 6. Rule number 12. I am a natural product of evolution, and mistakes are the fuel for the path called life. There is no shame necessary for messing up or forgetting any of these rules, for my actions I know have been done before in some shape and form. As long as I am alive, these rules still exist for me, and there will be chances to practice them again. Rule number 13. No matter the day, the situation, the time, the clothing you're wearing, always remember to say, thank you.
My name is Charlotte, and I believe people deserve to have at least one person in their life who makes them feel a bit of joy, even for just a minute. Good memories are important to me, but especially with people who make me happy. I've been lucky enough to find that in my life so far. I feel grateful for that. I think about the people who make these moments so special. When I think of so many happy moments strung together with people who bring me so much joy, I think of the COA Boston trip. I think of the afternoon we spent on the beach splashing one another with cold salt water or burying each other in so much sand, and laughing so much that my stomach eventually hurt. I love having a token of these memories. That day, I took so many photos of my friends standing in front of the bright blue sky with a scattering of fluffy clouds and them smiling and posing in a way that makes the pictures. Those photos are in my favorites album. I have a tendency to think that if I don't have a photo of it, it didn't happen. But then I think about one of the last nights in Boston when we walked as a group to the boba shop down the block from the hostel. When we returned, all 7 of us sat on 2 bunk beds and talked about our lives with each other. Someone was playing Taylor Swift through their phone speaker, and we all just felt comfortable and joyful with each other. I'm so happy to have people in my life who make me feel happy and feel loved, but my ultimate goal in my life is to be that for other people. I want others to feel loved and happy and safe in my presence. Love is something that we should all feel. I think the world would be a better place if we all had people to laugh about nonsense with.
Most, if not all of you, have probably seen me up front at the name tag table. But if you haven't, hello. My name is Rose, and I've been coming to All Souls for 8 years. I was 8 when I first consistently started coming to All Souls. My mom is Renee Price, the forum assistant, and I couldn't be left home alone, so I'd been dubbed the assistant to the forum assistant. Nowadays, I do the coffee and name tags and pretty much whatever else I get asked to do. When I was told that we would be writing credos in RE, I ended up getting pretty freaked out over it. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and my brain, like usual, told me the worst case scenario. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, and ended up being kind of fun. Here is my list of life rules that I try my hardest to live by. Number 1. Don't be an asshole. Number 2, everything in the world is connected by chains. Number 3, know when you need help and accept help when it is provided to you. Number 4, eat sweets. Number 5, make a point to help others, but never to your own detriment. Number 6, be happy. Number 7, be sad. Number 8, be angry. Number 9, live life by your own rules. Number 10, try your hardest to best understand others, but don't lose yourself in the process. Number 11, it's okay to lie to yourself for a bit to get through something. Just remember to tell yourself the truth later. Number 12, never leave childhood. And if you do, make sure to go back. Number 13, choose your own family. Number 14, one shouldn't need the threat of an underworld in order to be a decent human being. Number 15, not everyone deserves your forgiveness. Number 16, no one is entirely useless, and everyone can do something to be useful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sierra, and before coming of age, I didn't really know what I believed. I never really thought about it. Of course, I thought some things were right and some things were wrong, but I had little to no backing for why I thought that, other than that's what I had been told. I'm very thankful to have grown up in a church that lets me create my own opinions and do my own research to discover my identity, who I am, and what I believe in. Going to Boston made me fully realize how important UU faith is to me. Not only the third and fourth principles that I've been talking about, but I find myself thinking about the first a lot, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. When we were in Boston, we attended a Sunday service at Arlington Street Church. A woman from the congregation was preaching that day about the moments in her life that keep her faithful to the first principle. She spoke about how hearing all the hatred that goes on in the world makes it hard to believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every single person. I really resonated with this, as I had also battled with this without realizing it up until then. This made me think about what moments in my life keep me believing in the first principle. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but Boston created a lot of these moments for me. Another thing I'm thankful for is that I have been guided in this whole process not only by our teachers, my mentor, and my parents, but I've also been guided by the people I've gone through this alongside, my friends. Boston made me fully realize how important the people I surround myself with are to me. That's why one of my core beliefs is that you should always live life with intent. Life is too short to voluntarily miss any of it, especially moments with the people I love. I believe that life should be cherished, and the people and things we love create who we are. That's why I've created some vows for myself. To fulfill my beliefs, my vows are as follows. I will value my health physically and mentally so I may live every day with intent. I will seek out the positives in life rather than negatives. My mindset is my reality. I will not be afraid to make mistakes as long as I learn from them. I will take accountability for my actions. I will accept change and embrace it whenever possible. I will not take anything for granted. I will surround myself with people who make me my best self so that I can also be that person for them. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jenny, and this is what I believe. I believe knowledge is an infinite resource that is constantly being expanded upon. There is no limit to the amount of knowledge that can be dispensed, and withholding valuable information from someone simply for the sake of it is disgusting and immoral. This is becoming more and more common throughout the world. For example, book banning or bills prohibiting discussions of certain topics because it makes some people uncomfortable. I believe music and art are just as important to humanity as academics. Ideas about social justice and other important topics are often first recognized and celebrated in these spaces. At the same time, academics are extremely important tools and should never be discounted or ignored in favor of things with no real backing. Emotion and logic can be used at the same time without contradicting each other. Using both logic and emotion can create better solutions to complex problems because emotion is a key human trait and humans cannot be removed from any problem of which we are involved in. Saying someone is wrong because they have empathy is a clear depiction of indifference towards others. I actually think a lot of people, namely people in power, could use a refresher on the basic skills of empathy. People should be allowed to experience and explore their identity freely without fear of persecution. People are not born good or evil. Honestly, I do not even think people are born neutral. People are far too complex to be put into boxes like this, especially with all we know about mental illness now. I think saying people are inherently evil gives people an excuse for their bad deeds, and saying people are inherently good is a blatant lie, because clearly not. Lastly, love is the most powerful tool humanity has, and it should be used as such. Love can destroy people, but it can also create beautiful things. As Louisa May Alcott once said, love is a great beautifier. It really is. Love can heal any mental wound, and physical ones too, with a little extra help. Love has and will always be a huge part of my life, and I will be forever grateful to those around me for all the love in my life.
My name is Ruby Sholo. My trip to Boston taught me to enjoy all the moments in life. It made me realize how I want to live my life. My trip to Boston made me truly grateful for the life I have and the people around me. Throughout this trip, I became closer with Charlotte, Jenny, Sean, Rose, Sierra, and Khalil. I also became closer to photography. This trip changed my mindset and perspective on life. It made me realize how much I've been caught up in the stresses of life. I want to start looking at the beauty of the world through photography and being more present mentally. I want to be more immersed in life instead of letting stress consume me. My trip to Boston made me realize how important photography is to me. I took a pause on photography because I never had time. Now I realize that it was just a lack of balance. I need to start focusing on me and my happiness. I want to put my focus on and energy on gratitude. I feel I have become less grateful because I have been so consumed in the negatives in life. I have laid out a couple of rules for my life I want to live by. Number 1, balance out my happiness and stresses. Number 2, put more focus on gratitude. Number 3, live in the moment. Number 4, be a more open-minded person. Number 5, fully experience every little moment. Number 6, live out of my comfort zone. Number 7, put more time into photography. And number 8, look for a positive in everything. I am truly grateful I got to experience this trip with the people I did. I am also truly grateful I got to experience this trip and create my credo from it. I want to thank my grandma for bringing me here to be able to let me experience this moment and let me experience going to this church. Thank you.
We're about to sing a chant we learned from Reverend Erin while we were in Boston. We share it with you today because it has felt so true to our experiences together.
Dear friends, let me tell you
Also, before anything else, I want to say I really love these flowers, by the way. Thank you very much. We release this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words are the chorus to the hymn We Laugh, We Cry by Shelley Jackson Denham. And we believe in life and in the strength of life. And we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, and we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer. The season is upon us for that which is mysterious, dark, and spooky. Let the pumpkin parade begin!